Good morning, children. So let us again start our remaining portions of biostatistics. So now today I am going to discuss with you one very important portion, that is sampling techniques. So when I am while teaching biostatistics, the introductory part, I told you the importance and significance of sampling. So when we are going to study a population, it is very difficult for us to study the entire individuals or entire items in the population. So what we will do? Usually we will take a portion from that entire population and we will study. Okay. So when you are going to test your blood, what doctors or the nurse, lab technicians, what they will do? They will take a small ml of blood from your body. Okay. A drop of blood is taken to the slide and they will detect it and they will inform you about the conditions of your blood. So your body, your entire blood can be tested by using only a single drop. Okay. So the full blood is not taking for the testing. A small drop is taking. That is what is known as sampling. Understood? So sampling technique is very, very important in biological sciences, agricultural sciences, even in business, geography and all studies. The sampling technique is very, very essential. For example, when the performance of a university or academic level of a university is going to study, what they will do? It is very difficult to study all the students studying under the university. So what they will do? They will classify them or group them based on some criteria, and from each group they will draw samples and study. Okay. So I hope you understood what is the basic thing behind a sampling techniques. So today we will discuss what are the various sampling techniques available for biological studies. Okay. So let us pass into the topic. First thing. So what is a population? Group of individuals. That's known as population. There may be finite population, there may be infinite population. Okay. You can count the number of individuals, then that is finite population. If you cannot count it, that is infinite population. So from that population, we will draw a sample. From this picture, it is very clear. This is actually a group of individuals. So very difficult to study all this. So we will take out some samples that should be the representative of the entire population. Clear? So few items selected from the population in such a way that they are representative of the population. Understood? Okay. So population actually what? Total collections of the items and elements under our study or within our study or within our investigation. That is total collection of items. So from this total collection of items, we will take a portion of the population. Okay. And that is maybe randomly selected or non-randomly selected, whatever it may, depending upon our methods. That portion is known as what? Sample. Clear? And this method of drawing sample is known as what? Sampling technique. Clear? Okay. So what are the essentials of a sampling? So before going to in detail about the sampling methods, you should know what are the essentials that a sample should need. So a sample from the population should be homogeneous, means uniform. More number of items should be included in the sample. For example, in 1,000 people are there. If you take 2 or 3 individual for study, that's wrong. Okay. So proportionate items means number of items should be more in the sample. And sample should have same characteristic as that of the original population. Okay. If you consider the entire population, what is the character of majority of the individuals? That should be included in the sample. Clear? So if from the 1,000 people, one is very rare or exemption, you won't take that as a sample. Clear? So it should contain the characteristic of the original population. Clear? The number of observations included in the sample should be more. For what? To make the results more reliable. Okay. So number of observations should be more and more number of items should be included and sample from the population should be homogeneous. These are the essentials of sampling. Okay. Now, what are the advantages? Okay. Now you got what are the advantages? It reduces cost, it reduces time, labor, and it is the only method used in infinite population. So in order to study the infinite population, it is the only method. Okay. And sample produce usually accurate results. Clear? No confusion, no problem in samples. So that are the advantages of sample. Then what about the size of the sample? How will you determine the size of the sample? So in a homogeneous population, there is no problem. Everything is correct, everything in size, shape, or whatever the character, that is uniform. So no need to take huge number of samples. Sample size is small. But when you are considering a heterogeneous population, or when the population size is larger, you should also increase the size of the sample. So what do you mean by sample size? Means number of items that we are taking for study, that is sample size. Okay, so larger the size of the population, bigger should be the sample size. Understood? So in a homogeneous population, no need to take a large number of samples. Clear? Small number is enough. Then nature of study also affect the size of the sample. For example, in the case of a study of a water body, you have to collect the planktons. So huge number of planktons will be there in that entire river or entire pond. So how will you collect it? So based on the area of your study, you can determine how much sample you should need. Okay, that is your decision. That is the nature of study affect the size of the sample. Clear? Then size of the sample is also influenced by sampling technique. So based on the technique you adopted, the size of the sample may also vary. Okay, so these are all about the size of the sample. Now we can discuss what are the various methods of sampling. So broadly, when you discuss, it is classified into two groups, that is random sampling and non-random sampling. The term itself have the meaning. What is random sampling? What is random sampling? Randomly selected from here, from there, no particular structure or criteria. So randomly you are selected. Clear? Then non-random sampling means from here I will take, from there I will take. That's our decision. Already we are decided. Okay, and based on that we will select. Other one is blind selection. That is random sampling. So lot what we are taking for so many purposes, taking lots, same method. That is random sampling. Clear? Okay. Now, so let us move on to random sampling. What's actually the basic principle behind random sampling? Each item of the population has an equal chance of being included in the sample. That's very, very important. Clear? Each item of the population has an equal chance of being included in the sample. For example, so I am going to study the mark of your class. Think. So how much mark you got in biostatistics? How will I determine? So randomly I will select 5 or 6 or 7 from your class. Without calling your names or something. So I will put in a paper 1, 2, 3 roll numbers, then I will take and do it. That is random sampling. So there are chances of being included. Sometimes Harida may included in that. Sometimes Aishwarya may be there. Sometimes Anjana may be there. So this is depending on what? That's your luck, or can say the chance, probability. So each item of the population has an equal chance of being included in the sample. Understood? Okay. It is a scientific undertaking. It plays an important role in biological, agricultural and medical sciences. So in the field study, when you sow seeds and after germination and first generation, from the first generation you have to select some plants for breeding in the next generation. So randomly you will select from the field. Clear? So agricultural science, there is an application. Okay. What are the after effects of COVID? When a person affected COVID, so you want to study the after effect of COVID. So you will take 1,000 people. Then randomly you will select people among them and you will study, you will conduct their case study. Clear? That is what application in medical science. So whatever it may, random sampling is a scientific undertaking. Okay. So it can be taken from finite population or infinite population. In both conditions, this random sampling can be applied. Okay. And this technique is every item can be included in the sample. That's the chance is very high. and completely depends on the element of chance. That is what random sampling. Okay. So I hope you got the idea of random sampling. Clear? Okay. Now, the one important type of random sampling is lottery method. You know what is lottery? Actually a lucky draw. Lottery method. We all take lottery, but only one or two will be there in the final list or in that that winning condition. So what is there? How will they obtain that? That's a random sampling. Clear? Every one of us has a chance to be included in that lottery, but only 1 or 3 or 5 will be win. So that is that what random sampling. So what is they are doing here is, this is the most simple and very popular method, can applied in infinite population. So all items of the population is numbered. All items of the population is numbered on separate slips of paper of identical size, shape and color. You will take strips, then you will number items, then you will take lot, blindfold selection. Take lot, then include it in your study. That is what lottery method. Biological science and agriculture science, this method is applicable. Okay. So this is the method. Okay. So out of a class of 50 students, 15 are selected to take part in a fest. So from the 50, how many you have to take on 15? What you will do? Assign roll number 1 to 50. Then write each number in a piece of paper. Place in a hat or some in a box or somewhere else. Then draw 50 numbers from that. This is what simple random sampling. From this picture itself, you will get the idea. Clear? Okay. Now, second method is random number. What do you mean by random numbers? Random numbers are actually selection with the help of random numbers or the table of random numbers. What is table of random numbers? Tippets of random numbers. They are available. Table is available, and from that table you can move on your pencil through that numbers. When you keep somewhere else a pencil, then take one likewise. So this is already printed form. That it's a printed form of printed one of tables. Okay, one example is Tippett random number table, Fisher and Yates table. These are already scientifically prepared ones. Then from that you select, move your pencil, stick somewhere, then take that likewise. That is random numbers. It's a ready-made table of numbers. So this is a random number table. You can move your hand or pencil, then stick somewhere else, then you can take. So number is mixed. Here see 1 here, 4 here, 21st, 37, whatever it may. Okay. Then merits of random sampling. It is more scientific. Sampling error can be measured. Randomness is important in biostatistical research. So this principle of randomness is applying here. It is an economical because it saves time and labor. Understood? That's the merits of random sampling. Okay. Now let us move on to the demerits. So complete list of all items required, then only you can number it. Okay. And in the case of the sample small, it is not applicable. If it is only 10, it is actually not scientific. Okay. Units of population spread over large area, this method cannot be used. That is the demerits. Okay. Now, next type of sampling is stratified sampling. So, what do you mean by stratified sampling? When a population is heterogeneous, what do you mean by heterogeneous? Mixed characters. The population having mixed character, that is heterogeneous population. The population is divided into homogeneous groups or strata. From that you will draw sample. Clear? So heterogeneous group, then make it homogeneous. From that you will draw strata. From that you will take data. For example, male, female, transgenders, everything mixed. So how can you make it homogeneous? Make male in one group, female in one, transgender in one. So different strata. Then from that you can take sample. From each you will take sample. So each stratum is called a subpopulation. So entire population divide into groups based on some criteria, and that's known as subpopulation from which you will draw. Okay. Two types are there, proportional and a non-proportional. Means items taken from each stratum proportionate to the units of strata. How many units are there? Based on that you will draw sample. No proportion or anything consider, that is non-proportional. Okay. Okay. So stratified sampling is very simple one, applied in heterogeneous population, divided them into homogeneous based on some particular characters, draw a sample from each group. Okay. Next. So this is a stratified random sampling. Population is divided into subpopulations, group 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you can take a sample. Okay, stratified random sampling. Clear? Now, merits more representative and ensure great accuracy. It is non-homogeneous. In a non-homogeneous population, it gives good results, reliable results. Demerit is if proper stratification is not done, what will it will create a personal bias or personal prejudice or something may be there that will not be correct. Sampling may not be correct. So, proper classification or stratification should be done. Understood? Okay. Now, next is systematic sampling. It's somewhat same as that of stratified sampling. Here, list of population is prepared on some basis. List of population prepared on some basis. Arrange the items in numerical or alphabetical or geographical or whatever. You arrange the data, arrange the population in order. Then items numbered serially. First item selected randomly. Then apply an equation. K equal to n by n. N is the total number of population. That is population size, capital N. Small n is equal to sample size. So, apply an equation n by n. So, first you have to group them based on a particular feature. Then you can number them. Then apply the formula. Okay. For example, if capital N is 100, what is total sample size? Is 100. Then you have to take 10 samples. How will you do? 100 divided by 10. That is n equal to sample size. So, what is the answer? 10. So, count from 1 to 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take the 10th one. Then again count. Then take the again 10th one. Likewise it goes. Okay. That is systematic sampling. Clear? See here. N equal to 10. So count, then take out the samples. Likewise you can have. Okay. Then merits simple and convenient. Time and labor very less. Demerits not represent whole population. Sometimes difficult to represent whole population. Okay. Then next is cluster sampling. What is cluster? Divided the population into recognizable group known as cluster. Then random sampling from the cluster. In geographical studies we are doing this, but don't confuse with stratified sampling. Already divided heterogeneous group into homogeneous group. Homogeneous group based on criteria. Here we are not dividing them into homogeneous group. But here we are making them into some recognizable group only. That is clusters. Then from that we will draw samples. For example, study of, for example, mangroves study in the North Malabar area. What you will do? North Malabar area, there are a lot of places from Calicut, Kannur, Kasaragod, etc. So, this is a vast geographical area. How can you make them? You can divide them into subgroups. Clear? So, based on, for example, Calicut one group, Kannur one group, then Kasaragod one group, likewise. Then collect data from all units. That is cluster sampling. Okay? So, differentiate cluster sampling from stratified sampling. Here it is clusters, there it is subpopulation. Clear? Okay. Then merits, flexibility. So, you can choose. That's based on you. You can make into clusters. Helpful in large scale survey. Demerits is less accurate. Okay. No. So, these are different clusters. Okay. Population into clusters. Then from these clusters, we will select 2 clusters for our study. Okay. No. Cluster sampling and stratified sampling here. Cost reduction, enhanced precision is required. Randomly selected clusters. Here based selection from strata. So, we divided into strata based on some criteria. From that you will select. Okay. Then division naturally formed. We are not making, but naturally the division is there. Depend on the researcher, this one. More error will be there. Here less error. Homogeneity externally, homogeneity internally. Okay. That is a fundamental difference. Now, Now, non-random sampling. There are two types: judgment, purposive, deliberate samplings. The term itself in meaning judgment, purposive, deliberate. For example, in your class, I want to study the performance of you in your biostatistics, problem solving. So what I will do? I will call upon. For example, I will call anybody. For example, anyone from among your class, Pooja. I will call Pooja, and do my work. Okay. Then I will call upon Sri Deepa and do my work. That is what? That's based on my decision. I want to study from them. Okay. That is purposive, deliberate. Deliberately I will call Sri Deepa. Clear? But what about in the random sampling? I will not call your name. I will select a blindfold selection. So you all having the chances to be included. But here only Srideepa or Pooja having the chances to included in the sample. Okay. That is judgment, purposive or deliberate sampling. Okay. So choice of sample item depend on judgment of the investigator. Here I am the investigator. So this sampling is only my choice. Understood? So element of chances ruled out completely. No chances are there to be included. Method of selection restricted to small samples and small population only. So selection based on predetermined criteria. I know Srideepa will pass in the examination with high score. So I will select only Srideepa. So that is the condition. This is my decision. Okay. And here there is chances are very less. Actually big zero chance. Element of chances ruled out completely. Understood? This is what non-random sampling. Judgment, purposive or deliberate sampling. So you have to write the difference from random sampling. Understood? Okay. Now, merits used to obtain more representative samples. Simple method. In case size of sample is small, it is useful. Widely used to solve business problems. Okay. Demerits due to individual bias. Okay. I have some soft corner to Srideepa that I am showing there. Okay. So that is my concern, individual bias. So sample may not be representative one. Estimates are not accurate. Results cannot be compared with other sampling techniques. Understood? Okay. Now, convenience sampling. Second type of non-random is convenience sampling. So, selection of item results in obtaining a chunk of population. Chunk means what? Convenient slice of the population. So, I am dealing with only a small part, a small slice of the population. Population is big, but I am going to study only, my convenience is to study a small portion. That small portion or slice, you have a big cake, when you cut it, I will take only from that only a small slice. Okay, and based on that I will predict everything. Clear? That is, I will draw results from only from that small slice. That is what chunk. And this type of sampling is convenience sampling. This is biased and unsatisfactory. Understood? Okay. While studying the academic performance of Kannur University, I am going to discuss study only Surfside College. Is it 100% correct? That's wrong. That's biased. I have to take a sample from all colleges. Then only it will be perfect. So that is what convenience sampling. Understood? Okay. So that's all about sampling. Then quota sampling. This is least importance. A type of judgment sampling. Some quotas are fixed. According to that we will take. For example, sampling of the population based on sex, occupation, income, etc. Then each interviewer asked to interview a certain number of persons of his quota. For example, based on occupation, government job, private job. So I am going to interview them. So I will take one or two from that quota and conduct my interview. Okay. So selection depends on personal judgment. This is also not scientific method. Okay. A type of judgment sampling. That is what quota sampling. Okay. So here convenience sampling, quota sampling, purposive or deliberate sampling. That's the three non-random sampling techniques. Clear? Okay. Then last portion. So what we discussed is what is sampling, what are the essentials of sampling, advantages of sampling, what are the methods of sampling, random, non-random, types, lottery, random numbers, then stratified, systematic, cluster, then non-random, purposive, convenience and quota sampling. And we did everything, but there may be some bias or some errors occur in our sampling. That is known as sampling errors. Okay, there are two types of errors. One is biased error, another one is unbiased error. What is biased error? Error arises due to bias in selection, estimation, deliberate sampling, etc. When we are doing that, there will be no doubt error will be there. That is biased error. Unbiased error may be due to chance, difference between members of population included in the sample, members not included in the sample, etc. So while drawing the samples, sometimes, so any exceptional cases in the sample that may be there, exceptional cases in the population that may be included in our sample, it may create error. Likewise, it's chance from our drawing samples. That is what unbiased error. So biased errors are there, unbiased errors are there. Clear? Okay. Now, why this error occurring? What are the causes of error? One important point is faulty process of selection. Our selection process is not perfect. Deliberate selection, conscious or unconscious bias in selection due to faulty collection of data and unorganized collective procedure. Collection procedure is unorganized. Prejudice on the part of person collecting information. Okay, these are the typical points by which error occurring during sampling. Clear? Okay. So I hope you understood well what is sampling. Very important topic, because this will help you in your future PhD work, and also when you are got a job or somewhere else. This is a very essential chapter in biometrics or biostatistics. So all of you should make it thorough. What is sampling, what are the types, what are the merits, demerits, essentials, and the sampling errors. Okay. So I hope you all enjoyed my class. Have a nice day.